Okay, back for more? Well, here we go then. This time we're going to be finding the gradient or the slope, steepness, m, from a graph. And here I have a method. One of my famous idiot-proof methods. Very easy to follow. And I promise you if you follow all these steps, you will always get them right. And they are absolutely idiot-proof. So here we go. Step 1 is that we pick 2 points that are on the line. And we might like to make those points whole numbers. We then draw a right triangle. The third step, we like to calculate the change in the y direction and then the change in the x direction. The fourth thing, we like to write the formula. Here is the formula. The gradient m is the change in the y direction divided by the change in the x direction. And yes, we write the formula every time. We don't just leave it at the top of the page and think that I'm going to be happy with that, because I'm not. Every time. The more times you write it, the better you remember it, the less revision you have to do, and everybody's happy. And of course, if we have a formula, we like to fill in the formula and then calculate it. Copy this all into your notebook now, and then we'll do an example afterwards. Pause the video. Okay, so you should have copied all the notes down, and now we're going to use them in an example, and you can see how idiot-proof it is. Here I have a graph. First of all, it said I have to pick 2 points on the line. So I travel along the line, and I find nice points like this one that gives me whole number values for x and for y. I then carry on along here until I find another point which also gives me some other nice whole numbers for x and for y. Let's pretend that this one here has given me the number 10 on the y-axis, and it has given me the number 5 on the x. On this point, let's pretend that the x number is 1 and the y number here is 2 to make the calculation nice, easy and straightforward. So I have now completed step 1. So of course we go to step 2. I need to draw a right triangle. So you should be using a ruler. First of all, I'm drawing my horizontal line here, and then a vertical line. And this should form a right angle. Step 2 complete. Step 3, I need to calculate the change in the y direction. So looking at this diagram, can you work out what the change in the y direction is? That's this one. Pause the video and work out what it's going to be. Okay, I hope you got the answer 8. Because the distance from 2 to 10 is 8. You might have done 10 minus 2, which is 8. Now we need to work out the change in the x direction, this one. Pause the video again now and see if you can get an answer. Okay, you should have worked out that this distance is 4. The distance from 1 to 5 is 4. You probably did 5 minus 1 to give you the distance 4. So we have now completed step 3. On to step 4. Time to write the formula. Make sure that you write the formula in full. Don't start changing things into acronyms. I don't want to see CIY all divided by CIX. It just sounds like one of those new crime TV shows. We need to write this so it teaches us how to do it. Like I said, the more you write this, less revision time, it'll be in your memory for all the quizzes and tests. Now we have completed step 4. Time to do step 5. I need to combine the graph and the formula. We need to bring it together. So, what is the change in y number? You look on the graph, we look in this direction, you've already written it. Easy peasy. Change in the x direction, you look on the graph, it's this direction, the number 4's here, easy peasy. 8 over 4, the answer is 2. Sometimes the answers will be a fraction. Leave them as a fraction. Don't turn the numbers into decimals. Unless these distances you're working out in decimals, then you can have a decimal answer. Okay? So that's how you work out gradient. But remember, there are other variations. Do you remember this old friend? Yes, the horizontal line. If you get one like this, just write that the m value is 0. Do you remember the other old friend that we had, the unusual one? Yes, the vertical line. If you get this one, write m equals undefined. That is, there is no number to represent it. There is one other variation. Do you remember what that might be? Pause the video and have a quick think. Yes, I hope you remembered. This is a positive line. The one we've not talked about is, the negative line. What do you do then? Well, you just have to beware. If the line is drawn as a negative, for instance, here, and we still have 8 and 4 as the distances for the y direction and the x direction, then when you are doing this part here and come to this part, when you are filling in the numbers 8 and 4, you need to remember to put a negative sign in. So the gradient for this would be -2 if I'd drawn the same line with the same steepness but in a negative direction. Beware. Catches people out all the time. Okay, now it's time to put this all in your notebook and then time for you to try and do some questions on your own.